want to talk about fear. Something that's very crippling to us, that we don't really need to be concerned with all that much, but it's a natural, innate, feeling that human beings go through, although Jesus did not give us the spirit of fear. And don't take offense if that's not your belief. That's based on mine. So you interpret this for whatever your belief system is. Okay? So welcome back to my channel once again. It's Raven, aka Mississippi, and I wanted to talk about goal setting, because you need to have goals in life, whether you're 5 years old, 55, or 105. Well, maybe not. Yeah, 105-year-old people can have goals too. And that's important in life. So whether you have small-term, long-term goals, I think goal setting is very important. I am such a goal-oriented type of person until it may be a little crazy. But it has proven to be successful to me. So, hey, I just want to share a few gems out there for people who probably feel like, I don't know where to start with goals. What is a goal? What in the world is that? Because, honey, we ain't got time to be stagnant. We need to be pressing forward and moving to the next level of life, and the next one and the next one. So, I just want to share things that have worked for me over the years. I don't think, had it not been for these things that I did, these two things specifically, I don't know had my life in this 6 years since undergrad would have worked out as it has. The very first thing that I do is always pray. I pray on whatever my plans are. I feel like God does not give you a plan and plants ideas in your mind on by accident. I just don't believe that. And I believe that every time I think of something, and I always have ideas that only God and myself knows about. So I always pray on them. Whenever he gives me something, I'm like, okay, God, yes, I think that can definitely work. I can see me, executing that with planning and hard work. I can see that coming to fruition. And I pray on it. And I give it to God. I pray without ceasing too. Because you just don't pray about it one time. Let God know how serious and committed you are to this idea. And then when that idea starts to develop, don't let up. You can't let up when it starts to develop. Because ideas are fun. Oh, they fun to come up with. When they're first on paper and first in your thoughts, oh my God, a plan. Something to do. But you got to work at it. It's not going to come easy. Some of the greatest things in life are not easy to accomplish, are not easy to attain. Many days I cried for that bachelor's degree. Many days I cried during that master's degree. Many days I feel like giving up on this doctorate. You just don't understand. But I know that there's a greater purpose in achieving these things. And some other things I've accomplished in my life were not easy at all. If you know me and you look at me and you like, Raven always keep it together. She looks like it's so easy. Baby, behind these closed doors, you just don't know how I cry sometimes. And how I need somebody to reassure me that it's going to be okay. I'm strong, but everybody has a breaking point, has a limit to their strength. I need other people to draw my strength from. Thankfully for my upbringing, I have a prayer, relationship with the Lord, and a family who's very supportive and friends. I draw my strength from them people. So it ain't always easy. Don't believe I have it easy and that it looks easy, because it ain't. It ain't. Trust. So secondly, in addition to praying, I write my things down. Y'all, it is so important to write your things down for accountability purposes, and because when you see it, it's more concrete and you take it more seriously. Once you have a constant reminder, you can write them down in a planner. You can put them in a prayer jar. You can put them in a regular jar. You can put them on a poster, wherever you want to put it at, sticky notes on your mirror, whatever idea you want to have, wherever you want to write it down and put it, it's always a great idea to write them down. Now, just not saying writing them down for affirmation, writing them down as a reminder. There's a Bible verse that says you should write it down. So, the New International Version of the Habakkuk, chapter 2, verses 2 through 3 reads, "Then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets, so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. You heard me? Wait. It will certainly come and will not delay. Yes, honey. Come on now. Woo, I'm feeling like I'm finna preach. I feel my help coming on now. So, in addition to you having a reminder, the Bible also says that write your vision down and make it plain. And so, not necessarily that another human being will take it and run from it, but your future self will look at it, take it, and continue to run with it day by day. And it says, do not be fearful that it won't happen. Rome was not built in a day, like the old saying says. Not only will things be hard, but they will not come immediately. Their patience is a virtue. You know, I didn't really understand that when I was little, but going through some things and becoming an adult, that makes so much sense to me. Like, do not tarry, do not worry, do not be concerned that that thing will not happen, because it surely will. But nonetheless, I had to read that scripture because that is very important to me in planning things in life. For writing things down, planners. Always have you a planner. But planners are very important. Like, you can get you a planner and write things down. Of course, you have the dates in there and stuff. If you have a lot going on. And I also put them in my phone. Usually I'll set things as a reminder in my phone, in reminders, because that's what I pay for this phone for. For diet purposes, or if you want to keep track of what you're eating, this planner, What I Ate, I got from Marshall's. I got this from Marshall's. You can plan on here. I have 7 days, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, liquid intake. This week's goals: eat better, eat less, cook more, cook less. And then at the bottom, the results. So this is a good planner to have for weight loss purposes. Last but certainly not least, in addition to writing things down, these are 2 prayer jars that I have had since 2014. You can tell these are old candle jars. Bath and Body Works candles I'm obsessed with, and I've had many of them, but you can repurpose things like these. These I wrote in 2014. Some of these are things that I've already accomplished, and moving forward, I said I would write the dates on them so I can know exactly when I wrote it, you know, and when it actually comes to pass. I've already previously been in a master's degree program, actually 2 previously, before I actually enrolled in the one that I got my degree. But this little one says, enrolled in a master's degree program, and in the corner it says, don't give up. So I wrote this in 2014, in a time where I was like, Lord, what in the world do you want me to do? What direction is this life trying to go? And this was 5 years ago. And I finished my degree in 2017. I enrolled it in 2015. I finished it in 2017. Credit score. I won't share all of these, but just a few of them. I wrote this in 2014 too. Y'all, when I was 24 at the time, I looked at my credit score, child, and that thing said 3 something. When I was trying to reconfigure my life, I was like, what the world am I going to do? And I looked at my credit score. I was like, something gonna have to shake. I was like, God, what is life? 350. But I'm proud to say that I wrote this down at that time, 700 plus credit score, back then, 5 years ago. And I made it to a 710 last spring in April. It was 7 something last April. And it was actually my goal to have that happen. I was serious about it and making changes in 2016, 17. And it was my goal to have that accomplished by December 31st of 2018. And as of April 2018, I had made it. I was like, look at God. Won't he make it happen for you? And also, setting goals is all good and fine. And this is a wonderful tip. But also, you know, you got to do work. Just simple as that. Like Nike says, just do it. You got to do work. And nothing is going to happen if you don't do no work. You got to do work. Like, you can't be lazy about it. You can't say I want something to happen and you ain't doing nothing for it. I knew there was more for me in life. And I think I was making $30-some thousand. And I wrote this down: a meaningful career with a 50K plus salary. This happened for your good in 2018. Understand, I wrote it down 5 years ago, and it happened for me. Okay, let me tell y'all how good God is. And if you work and you stay committed and diligent to your plan, it'll happen for you. It won't necessarily happen in the time frame in which you think it's supposed to happen, but stay steadfast, and I promise you it'll happen for you. Fear. Fear is so crippling. One of my favorite quotes from the noted author Marianne Williamson says that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And that is very true. A lot of the times, I know for me, I get overwhelmed by my ability to do something. I truly believe that not only that the sky is not the limit, but beyond the sky, all up in the galaxies out there somewhere, is not even, we have no limits. So oftentimes people say the sky is the limit, but I'm like, life has no limitations for what you can do. Like, it has no limitations. But a lot of the time, our fear cripples us and allows us to place ourselves in barriers. But I just want to give encouragement to those people out there today who may feel as if they can't do something because they're fearful. But life is about the chances that you take, not the chances you miss, because you're going to make 0% of the chances you don't take. You're going to not make anything if you don't take the chance. So no risk, no reward. And I love quotes, by the way. I love quotes. So just be, courageous. Think about those people who have gone before us, who were courageous in the things that they did, and they weren't fearful. Maybe at some point they were. Maybe at some point they were apprehensive about going forth and doing something. Maybe they thought about it for years. Maybe they thought about it for weeks or months, depending on what they were doing. Maybe they were afraid. But somewhere deep inside their soul, they figured, hey, I should do this thing. And I'm sure those people who were fearless actually did not think about themselves. They probably thought about the impact that it can have on other people. They probably thought about how it can change the future, how it can change culture, how it can change children, how it could change families, how it could change somebody's lives and be impactful to at least one person. So it was not only about themselves, but accomplishing that thing and closing out that fear and shutting the door on it, was monumental in them making that change. So Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and speeches that they have done, think about the content. It was not about themselves. It was about how I can move forward to make an impact on somebody else. So as you think about fear today and you let that thing go and you move forward with your life and actually trying to accomplish your goals, think about somebody else. Think about how this can impact your niece, your nephew, your child, your students, your patients, your subordinates, your colleagues, whomever. Think about how impactful that could be for them. Think about how they may look and believe that you're so courageous, you're so brave, you are so fearless for moving forward and doing what you do. So I just wanted that to be a measure of encouragement for people today. Not only am I preaching to you, but I'm also preaching to myself. So in moving forward with your accomplishments and things that you want in your life, please put your fear aside, throw it away. We don't need it. Fear only stops us from doing those things we need to do. And I want everybody to win. I want everyone to succeed and do great things in this world. Because if we plant those great seeds, generations to come will benefit from the great things that we do today. So, don't mean to be all philosophical, but hey, this is one of those speeches I would give to my students in my class. So I thought, even if 16-year-olds can benefit from it, I'm sure that there's an adult out there somewhere who can benefit from it too. So, be fearless, be courageous, and be brave. And I'll holler at you next time.